everybody. Welcome back to my Wisdom Wednesday. As promised, I've got Eric Newman, a lender extraordinaire, and he is here to help answer all your questions from soup to nuts, from beginning to end, and the process of lending. Go ahead, Eric.
Okay, well, process of lending, it first starts, of course, with an application. And that's the best place to start before you actually go out and look for a property. Too many people make the mistake of looking for properties first and then have to scramble at the last minute to actually get approved for a loan. So you contact a great lender such as myself. We'll go through, check your credit, verify your income, verify your assets. All this happens really, really fast. Literally within a day or two, assuming that you can provide the info we need. And then once we have that all completed, we can actually send you out shopping with a pre-approval letter in hand, ready to write an offer right on the spot for any property that you actually find.
And so how important, sorry to interrupt you. So how important is that, right? Because a lot of people fail to get the pre-approval. And so then what happens is they are shopping for, let's say, a house that's worth $500,000. Right. And then they're like, oh crap, now I get my pre-approval, found my perfect house. All I can afford is $450, or the other way, they think it's 500,000, but they really can go up to 650 to find their dream home. So it's so important, you guys, to get pre-approved before you go home shopping. Go ahead, Eric. Sorry for the interruption.
Exactly. What we typically do here, what I like to do is issue a pre-approval letter for the absolute maximum that you can qualify for. Let's say, as you mentioned, you can qualify for 650, but it's a little higher payment than you really want to stomach every single month. So maybe 400 is your range, but knowing that you can go higher gives you the flexibility. If you find that perfect dream home, if you find the place, all the numbers work out, rates are good, you're all set to go. And then when it gets to the point of actually writing that offer, we can adjust that pre-approval letter to show your exact offer price. So you're not necessarily tipping your hand to the seller to say, hey, I can qualify for more.
Love it. All right, so what's next?
Well, that's pretty much it. It's really simple as far as getting ready to go. Once you get a property under contract, we get the sales agreement, we do final verifications of everything, push it through underwriting, get an appraisal if necessary, and go right to closing.
All right, so why don't we talk a little bit about that process? Because I feel that a lot of people aren't familiar with after going into contract, that process, the lending process, what happens on the back end? Like, what is that, the step to step from there?
Yeah, there's a lot that happens on the back end. In reality, what most borrowers don't even see is there's probably 15 people that touch the loan file along the way. And a lot of stuff does happen behind the scenes. So the first step, we get a sales agreement in, we're going to work up the numbers, we're going to have a conversation, and we're going to discuss what the current rates are, what the options are with rates, if you want to buy down the rate because you're going to be there longer and have a lower rate for the life of the loan, or the opposite. So we're going to go over all those numbers with you so you know exactly what you're getting into. Then we're going to send you the loan disclosures. You'll be able to sign them electronically. We order the appraisal, and we'll update any information that we need for underwriting and submit, of course. So the whole step of underwriting really takes just a couple days. It's very, very fast. Appraisals depends on where the property's located. Currently in our local market, we're looking at about a week and a half up to 2.5 to 3 weeks if it's a more rural property.
Because everybody's so busy. Yeah. Right. Everybody's so busy in this market.
Exactly. Yeah. And typically we've got.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, typically we've got underwriting approval and we're ready to close by the time appraisal comes in. And then once it does, assuming we get the value we need, then we go ahead and close.
Ooh, let's talk about appraisals, because it is bananas what is happening right now in this market, right? So I've been talking to people that are watching our Wisdom Wednesdays. I'm talking about appraisal gaps, right? So if a property is worth $500,000 and we're getting in offers at $600,000, the property appraises for $550,000. Is the bank going to give the full $600,000 to the buyer?
Well, loan to value is always going to be based on either the sales price or the appraised value, whichever is lower. So if it appraises at $550,000, then we're going to base the loan to value on $550,000. So let me give you an example scenario. Let's say you had a borrower that came in, a buyer that offered the $600,000 and said, I'm going to put 20% down. But now it only appraises at $550,000. Well, they can still buy that house and it's still going to be the same cash out of pocket. What we're going to do is we're just going to adjust the loan to value to be based off of the 550 amount. So it's going to look like they have a slightly higher loan to value, which won't really change their loan terms. I mean, literally almost zero change. And then the extra amount, the 50K above that to get to the 600 amount, is just considered extra down payment. But your total cash to close is going to be the same.
Right,
Now
so
we're
you're telling me that buyers don't have to come up with the $50,000 appraisal gap to be able to get that property? Because that's what I've been seeing in this market.
Yeah, it's true if there was going to be enough down payment to begin with in the first place. For
Okay,
conventional loans, the minimum down payment is 3%. So if you came in at 20%, you could still do a 3% conventional loan, and all the rest is just extra down
got
payment
it.
to
And
fill
so
the
you
gap.
use it on the back end.
Right. Now,
Woo!
where
This is
it's
good
where it's a
news.
bit more challenging though is if we have the buyers that have no cash to work with other than the down payment to begin with.
Yep.
Then you end up with a lower appraisal amount. That becomes more of a challenge, and we have to look at other sources, such as borrowing from a 401k or maybe a family member that wants to gift some funds to help them get in the house.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what I've been preaching. Or you guys can go to new builds.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because there's
Mm-hmm.
not,
Yep.
when you're looking at a resale home, there's that bidding war. You go to
Right.
new builds, it's just that's that price, and
Right.
it just is what it is. Talk to me a little bit about underwriting.
Underwriting, well, it depends on the loan program. Most of the underwriting that we've been familiar with goes directly off of what Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac requirements are. Same thing for FHA, same thing for VA. We do a lot of those direct without adding a bunch of extra restrictions. With underwriting lately, the main things that have been a hiccup for a lot of people is what happened in 2020. Did you have any job layoffs? If you had a layoff and you were off work for 3 months or whatever just because of COVID, then we have to factor that into the income that we can use to actually qualify you. But if your incomes remain steady all the way through, then this should be an easy process.
Okay, I love it. Eric, thank you so much for your time. I totally
Yeah.
appreciate it. Guys, happy hump day. I will have Eric's information on the message box so that you guys, if you're looking to buy a house, please do contact him. And if you're looking to buy and sell, I would love the opportunity to interview for that position. Again, I always ask you guys to interview anybody that you're looking to hire to make sure that it is the right fit. Thank you, Eric, again, so much for being here. It was lovely to see you guys, and off, and see you guys next Wednesday. Mwah! Bye.
Okay.